I'm in the Autopsy computer forensic program, and in previous videos I showed you how to install Autopsy as well as open a case. And now that that case is open, we're going to take a look in this video at extension mismatch detected. So extension mismatch basically means that somebody has gone in, either the system itself or a person has gone in and has changed a picture or video or something else that they were trying to hide by putting in a different extension. And we see that there's a picture, and I just called this one naughtypic.docx. But in reality, it's not a document. It's actually a photograph that had the extension renamed to docx. And you can just do that by right-clicking on a file and just changing the extension. And it was done that way to try to hide it. And really all it is my kid sitting in the restaurant with a fake hamburger on his head. So it's just a funny picture. So what a lot of people can do is they'll try to hide these files by changing them from movie files, MP4 files, JPEGs, whatever it is, to something that looks innocuous like a doc file. So this is going to find all of the different mismatches. Now, most of the mismatches you're going to find are system mismatches that are just false positives. So for instance, if we see the global settings, CDP, we see these temp files. So at one point, these temp files had other names and then they got renamed. So for instance, this is probably a text file and then it got renamed to a .tmp file. So a lot of these are just not going to really mean anything. So you're going to need to go into each one and see. And the nice thing about it is it does show you what either the text is or the picture is. So you can go in and take a look and read what all this different metadata is. So if you're looking for a photo and you click on all these things and you don't see a photo show up, then you know it's not going to be a photo, even though it's had a mismatched name. You may also see some DAT files as well. And in this case, we see that it was a link to a YouTube website or YouTube video. And if we go into the file metadata, it gives us a little bit more information. So in this case, we see that the MIME type is an MS Office. So this looks like what happened is that someone was in, say, a Word document or an Excel document, and there was a link to a YouTube site. And when they clicked on that, that generated this DAT file. So it's going to take a little bit of time to sift the differences between what was done intentionally and what was done as just part of the operating system. I'm going to go back to my original file, which was the only one that was actually renamed purposefully, and I'm going to right click and I'm going to show you some of the different things that you can do, such as you can view the source file in the timeline. So we can see the date that the file was created, then we can see the file modification, we can see when it was changed, and we can see when it was accessed. And you can change this from 1 minute to whatever it is that you want. I'll choose an hour, for instance, and click Show the Timeline. And here's all the information. So originally it was a JPEG file. And then at this date and time, it was renamed to a .docx file. And you can see that there were other pictures that were in this same list that were taken before and after the 1 hour time frame. So there's a picture there, there's a picture there. If you right click on it, you can see View File and Directory or View in New Window, and you can even extract the file as well. I'm going to close this and go back to our original file. And you could open an external viewer if you'd like. You can extract the file, export the selected rows to CSV. Some of these things are not going to really help you with a picture file. For instance, if I click Open an External Viewer, then you're just going to get a lot of code. It does give us a little of information, such as it was taken with a Pixel 3a Google phone. You can also go in and add a comment to this that doesn't actually affect the picture. So I say, check this out further, for instance. And basically, if there's more than one investigator on this, or you could just make a note to yourself to go back in and check it out further or later on. And this all came about simply because someone went in and they right-clicked and they said rename, and they went to the extension and put in docx instead. And when you do that, click yes, you can see it changes to something that isn't quite as obvious that it's a picture file. Now, if you have Microsoft Word installed on here, it would change to a big W and make it look like it's a Word file. So that's how you investigate files that have mismatches detected, and how you can determine between what was done purposefully as well as what was done by the system.